Hey there, I'm Joel Ballard with CBC News, and I'm at Crescent Beach here in Surrey, where we're going to learn about some water safety tips, especially now that we're heading into the summer season. But first, I want to tell you about why. So sadly, over the weekend, there was a fatal drowning at Rice Lake in the district of North Vancouver. The details are still a little limited, but we have spoken with fire officials, police officials in the district, and we've learned that a 26-year-old man from Burnaby drowned when firefighters arrived on Saturday afternoon around 3:30. They found two men providing CPR to the man who had drowned on a rock in the middle of the lake. Firefighters had to swim out to him, pull him back to shore, where firefighters and paramedics attempted to resuscitate him for over an hour. We still don't know exactly why the man drowned, what led to it, but we do know Rice Lake is not a swimming lake. It's a fishing lake. There's no beach, there's no amenities there, and what we've heard from witnesses is that the man was struggling to swim, and his friend said he went under for about 2 minutes. The reason we're out here in White Rock is we're speaking with the Life Saving Society. So to my right here, I have Kimiko Hirakita.
Correct.
Perfect, with the Life Saving Society, and she's going to take us through some ways we can stay safe when we're in and around water here in BC. So first, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just start off. What are some of the basic tips when you're speaking to people about how to stay safe, whether it's the ocean, whether it's a lake, whether it's a pool, about staying safe in the water?
Thank you for asking. I think it's really important for people to recognize that the beauty of open water is that it's always changing. That includes lakes, rivers, streams, our beautiful ocean that we're here beside. So just because it looked one way a week before, it might be a little bit different now. And you did mention that this drowning happened in a lake that's not designated for fishing. And I think one thing that we see in BC is people are looking for that quiet spot to recreate and have a bit of a private beach on their own. But signs are always posted for a reason, and know your abilities.
Yeah. If someone does want to, they see a beautiful lake, they don't see any signs that say don't swim, and they want to enjoy themselves, what can they keep in their mind to make sure that it is an enjoyable experience?
Great question. So I think making sure, do you have a cell signal if you need to call for help? Are there others in the area if you need to call for help? Do you have things that you could throw for a water rescue or reach for a water rescue? Can you see the bottom of the lake or the body of water that you're swimming in? Or does it get a little bit darker, which may indicate a drop off? So doing a bit of a site orientation wherever you're going to be around water is really important to just know your surroundings.
And how important is it to recognize what your skill level is and try and plan your swimming towards that?
One of the favorite things that I like to say is just because I can swim here, which might be a clear pool with lane markers and lane ropes and an edge to put my water bottle, doesn't mean I can swim the same there, which is open water. Recognizing that the water that you enter, you might not know the depth. The clarity might not be there. You might not know the currents or the debris underwater. So really understanding that even if you're a really strong and competent pool swimmer, it might be different when you enter open water.
Yeah. And we're still at the early season for summer. We're just at the beginning of June. What role does water temperature play when people, jump off a dock into a lake and don't necessarily know how warm or cold that water might be?
Another fabulous point to bring up. So we are still working with all the snow runoff that's come off the mountains, which does make our waters a lot cooler. Even our ocean temperature is still a lot cooler. It hasn't had the opportunity to warm up. If it's on a really hot day and your body is warm and you jump into water that's really, really cold, it can send a shock response to your body that could actually cause you to go unconscious or take a big breath and inhale. And if that happens to you underwater, there's unfortunately no way for you to get up.
Yeah. I don't want to put you too on the spot with numbers and facts, but speaking more generally, when we think about drowning occurrences here in BC, how common is this?
Obviously, we would like our number to be 0. That means that we're looking at prevention, but we are looking at, around 30 to 50 drownings every year in BC and Yukon, and that's too many. Even 1 is too many, and currently we're up to 7 for the year. And like you mentioned, we're at the very beginning of the season, so we want to do everything that we can to speak about prevention and maintaining our safety.
Yeah. And I'm not speaking in this case specific to the drowning that happened over the weekend, but what are some of the common factors that we see when we do have drowning occurrences or near drowning occurrences? You know, I'm thinking the addition of alcohol, not having a personal flotation device, or those types of situations.
Absolutely. So some of the main factors that we'll speak about is staying sober in, on, and around the water. Obviously, it's a beautiful summer day. It would be so nice to be out here with a beverage, but if you're going to keep your safety in mind, staying sober is the best way. Personal flotation devices or life jackets in boats, it's not good enough to just bring it with you. You would never get into a car and drive away without clicking in your seatbelt. The same goes for putting on your life jacket in PFD. Click it, wear it when you're on the water, and that means everybody that's on the vessel. If you're on a stand-up paddleboard or a kayak, a personal flotation device is key. And supervision of young ones. Drowning is the leading cause of accidental death in children aged 1 through 5. Undistracted supervision is absolutely paramount. So if you're at the beach with a group of people, assign a designated water watcher every 30 minutes, somebody that's sole responsibility is to look out at the water, look for changing conditions, and they're not distracted by unpacking lunch or a pet or other children.
A key part of swimming education in BC is around swimming skills to be able to survive. You know, not necessarily what's going to make you the fastest swimmer, but what's going to help you be the safest swimmer. How do you get that education and that message across when someone hasn't benefited from going through, a Life-Saving Society swimming program or Red Cross before that?
There are so many opportunities to learn water safety and learn how to swim. You can directly reference our website at lifesaving.bc.ca for tips and courses in your area. There's courses that are just benefiting if you come to the water to supervise children. There's our safeguard course, lifeguarding or life saving for lay rescuers. There's also our Swim to Survive, which is the international standard of what you should do to be able to stay safe following an accidental fall into water. So the components of that are a roll into water, treading water, and then a swim. And there's many different ways that our affiliates and our neighboring pools are teaching that program.
All right, Kimiko, I think that's it. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, and stay safe out there.
And for those of you watching back home, if you want to learn more about this, you can of course go to the Life-Saving Society website, but we will also have more coverage on our website, cbc.ca/BC, and you can also watch for more programming on the 6 o'clock news tonight.